good afternoon, everybody who's here today. A little rainy out there, and most of you came under umbrellas. I hope none of you are wet as you're sitting here, that you're all still dry. But it is my privilege and my pleasure as the senior pastor of the Campus Hill Church to welcome you here once again for another year of the Unforgettables. Your little ones are indeed the Unforgettables. How can we ever forget them? Those little lives are little lights that will keep on shining in this dark world.
I was inspired to start the Unforgettables with the cumulative effect of going in to see parents, children, families on some of the darkest days of their life when I was the chaplain of Children's Hospital. During those 15 years, I would be called in by physicians, nurses, social workers, child life specialists, family friends who happened to have a child in the hospital to visit, to support, to pray for, to be there with, and sometimes as children were dying or had died. And so from seeing that experience over and over again, almost daily for all those years, I began to hear from parents more clearly, and especially fathers, that they were worried about how they were going to be able to afford the burial costs for their child's funeral. My name is Tim Evans. I'm a resident of Mentone, California, which is close to Redlands. And when I founded the Unforgettables Foundation, I was living in Highland, California, and working in Loma Linda, California. So I'm a kid right now of Southern California of the last 35 years. I went to grad school, seminary after undergrad, and I took seminary training that included a full quarter of what's called CPE, Clinical Pastoral Education, which was taught at Loma Linda Medical Center. Well, we have a big grand dream of starting a charity and supporting and helping hundreds of people every year who have lost children. And you're just starting with no money in your pocket is a challenge. I also have to be honest that being an employee, when you start a charity like this, it is very dependent upon how your employer views the cause. They can see it as a threat sometimes, and I ran into that. They were a nonprofit hospital, so they were worried that I was going to their donors, which I wasn't, but it did cause a real rift. And, you know, it's a long day to be a chaplain, and so I'd put in 7 to 7 hour days, 12-hour days, and then come home, and while the charity was starting, on my phone, on the answering machine, would take calls almost daily from families who were in panic. They were in crisis. Their child had died. They were looking for money, and they'd heard that a group I'd started was going to be able to help them financially. You can imagine the real overwhelming grief and shock that was handling them. And so I had to balance that and not get too burned out. And finally, after I was asked to leave, I had to start a whole new career, and it was a challenge, but I would do it again. And I feel that God was with me and with our family as we handled this cause, and I'm glad we did it. I'll never have any regrets. In year one, which was a year after fundraising throughout 2000, so in 2001, we helped about 83, 84 families. I can't remember the specific amount. Just getting started, we were kind of surprised at how many cases. I knew that there would be a lot of need, but I wasn't sure how much. One of the issues was that the hospital I was working at wanted us to just help them, be controlled by them, and not worry about the broader community. And I was adamant that we were going to serve Orange, Riverside, and San Bernardino County, all hospitals, all clinics, and all families. And so we ended up with 83 families receiving our help in the first year, which when you think of it, it's just a raw idea. It's just a simple concept that a group of people have come together, formed a board, put the word out. We didn't have a marketing budget. So it really told us instantly that there was a need for what we were doing as our mission.
In 2002, I heard about the Unforgettables through a newspaper article, and it was about a mudslide that hit a family that was at the KOA campgrounds in San Bernardino. 3 little boys, 2 little girls, and a mom and dad. And they were outside their pickup truck and all of a sudden heard a roar as a 4-foot wave of mud came flying down a canyon right adjacent to where they parked. And the little girls and the mom and dad got behind the truck, and the mud hit the truck and moved it sideways. And the 3 little boys all got caught. 2 of them ended up being discovered afterwards 50 yards away from the truck, and the 3rd one was caught and found 9 months later about a mile downstream. And I heard about this guy named Tim Evans that had a company called the Unforgettables, a nonprofit organization that helped families in their greatest moment of grief who could not afford a dignified burial or a cremation of integrity. I decided to give simply because there's a need, a very real need. And I can't, as a parent, I can't imagine anything more traumatic than losing a child. So I want to be there to be able to lend my own personal support. And because no one had ever heard of an organization like this one. And when I would ask people to donate, they were stunned at the mission and vision of the organization and jumped in to help. And we've done a great job. Last year, we served 251 families by helping with the burial of their son or daughter.
The main mission is to help families on the darkest day of their life and completely shocked and struggling with the financial expenses of a funeral for their child after their child has died. And so we are there to step in kind of like a community bank and send a check to the mortuary on their behalf when they're asking for help. And I don't want to sound arrogant, but unless you've been there and listened to a mom screaming, heartbroken, sobbing, can't fathom that her little child, her precious baby, has died, and then the dad who's there, who cares and who loves, but he's worried about how they're going to pay. And so those two combined great threats to that family. Because I mean, the death of a child is the #1 reason people divorce. Long time depression and guilt causes in families, and then debt. So those 3 big D's, debt, depression, and divorce. I'm just hoping that this cause has been able to maybe short circuit some of that and help people stay together and help their lives to hold on while they're going through that absolute terrible tragedy of their child dying, and maybe still around as a family today. That's one of the main reasons I started it.
And so we need to have a really good treasury in our organization, which we do right now, but we need people to assist. You can imagine, 251 families, that's a lot of burials, that's a lot of cremations. And we raise money to get that done so they would not feel the grief of being unable to do it themselves. And I want people to see me working hard to do that, and maybe they'll be inspired to be involved at a later date or to send funds to the Unforgettables.
We help families when they are referred to us by helpful frontline professionals who interface with children every day throughout society. We let the families choose us. Any mortuary in the area, any cemetery, any funeral professional, but also clergy, hospital professionals, law enforcement, firefighters, teachers, anyone that interfaces with kids can refer to us. But it goes through the mortuaries. The mortuaries kind of help us determine whether this family is really financially challenged. We can't afford to help everyone, so the mission is to help those who are really struggling with the costs. And then when they call us, we do a very quick little overview. We make a couple of questions to the mortuary, and we try to make it as easy as possible for the families. And then we send a check out. And that's what we do to help. And I sometimes do the funerals. I sometimes talk to the families, the ladies in our office that are intake call receivers. They will do some talking. But we pretty much focus on the financial aspect of affording a funeral.
Understand this, we have a monthly meeting and we have a roster of the name and age and circumstance that caused this child to lose its life. And when you go through that every month, that's a very sobering experience. And it just lifts me to even want to do more.
Going over the families that we've served, I feel like this is the first time all summer that we've had a drowning on in our minutes here for a 3-year-old in San Bernardino. And I'm grateful that this is the first and only we've had, but it's just so sobering. We have a 16-year-old on this list as well with a pending death.
One of the worst is a cord. This kid was full term delivered and the cord must have gotten wrapped around his neck. Those Meredith's a nurse. Isn't that so sad?
Which one?
Second one.
Evan?
That's zero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. There's nothing in the delivery room that can be inserted into the throat or wherever it needs to be to eliminate that issue, or is it has the, I'm assuming that the umbilical cord was wrapped around the neck for several days prior to the delivery.
It had to have been because it was a C-section, right?
It was
Yeah.
a C?
They don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
Had they known?
Shannon, do you mind just going down and reading
Not at
what
all.
the cases are and age for us?
You want, I'm sorry, would you like me to read the name or
The age and the
the
cause of
age?
death,
Just the
please.
age and the cause of death, okay. So, as we can see, we've got a total of 16 deaths here. We supported almost $8,000 worth of dignified burials. August 1st was a 3-year-old due to drowning. August 6th was 0 days old due to the cord being wrapped around his or her neck, of his neck. August 12th was 27 weeks, and I'm not going to pretend to try to pronounce that. Tanafort. Thank you. What is that? Would someone please help us understand what that is? Does it?
I'm not
Tim,
sure.
do you
on
know
that
what
one.
that is? I've never seen that on any of our lists. Okay, August 12th, 18-year-old's anaphylactic shock.
Yep, anaphylactic shock.
August 14th, fetal demise. August 14th, 22 weeks preterm labor. August 15th, 23 weeks fetal demise. August 19th, stillborn, 0 days. August 19th, 25 weeks fetal demise. August 19th again, 15 years, lymphoblastic lesion.
Leukemia. That's gonna be
Leukemia,
leukemia. That's a
okay.
cancer.
August 19th, 23 weeks, membrane rupture. August 19th again, 1 day, septic. What is septic?
Septicemia.
Septic. Okay,
Septic.
septic. Okay. August 21st, 3 weeks for a brain bleed. 3 weeks. August 22nd, 16 years old, that's a pending death.
And that's often either a suicide or drug overdose.
Yeah. Which we haven't had fentanyl
No.
in quite some time. Last year we had many cases.
But pending usually means it's at the coroner's office.
Okay. August 27th, 23 weeks, fetal hydrops? Hydropsis?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not enough fluid.
Okay. August 28th, 26 weeks, fetal demise.
Being unique, staying focused on one specific mission, not trying to do everything for everyone, and also staying true to the fact that we've promised that we'll always have money in the bank when people call, and never having to turn away a single case over 25 years for lack of funds.
We have a lot of families who phone in to the office. They heard about it and something happened where they lost a child, maybe in an automobile accident, and they can't afford, to bury their child, we step in and help.
I think we've been very successful. We were the very first of this sector, child burial support, in the United States, actually. There are other groups now that have come up, but we are special and different. And also we're different in that we weren't started by a parent who experienced it. We were started by hospital professionals. I was unpaid for the first 10 years because I didn't want to put a burden on the charity, and I had to have another job as a primary income. The community during that time played all the roles: treasurer, secretary, board members, helped us with our electronics, our social media. They did all kinds of graphics for us. A friend of mine created the logo and helped us with all of the motto and our tagline, because every child is truly unforgettable. There were people that stepped up at all those different levels to help us. And so I am forever grateful that it wasn't just me and wasn't just some part-time people in the office. It was a whole community coming together to make sure that these families were supported. Granting organizations have been very good to us. We've never done very well with national granting organizations, but local have been good to us. We have gotten money from individuals, certainly, small donations, a lot of small donations. We've gotten individuals from families and family foundations. Some of the affluent families build their own, especially if they've lost a child. Those people are very sensitive to us or have worked with children. We do a bunch of fundraising events. We do golf tournaments, bachelor auctions. We've done dirty jobs auction, where we auction off people to come and do jobs that you don't want to do at your house yourself. All different kinds of fundraising ideas, and they've been very successful, but they work to promote us and to keep us in people's consciousness and mind, because again, we don't have any big brother, big sister organization or company or charity that looks out for us. Even in our sector, we work with mortuaries, but they're not a source of funds for us. They work with us and help families, discount to the families. But for us to pay for our day in, day out expenses of having an office and having staff, we try to run really lean. And I've tried to always pay myself and the staff significantly less than other charities, just to prove that we believe the whole principle of what a charity is about. But the bottom line is we have to have help. And we're very grateful for anyone that sends donations to us. And the one weakness and the one focus we're going to do going forward, even if I'm not the CEO, I'm going to always try. And I've left an amount of money in my will and trust. And I hope that more people think about the Unforgettables when it comes to their planned gift, their will, their trust, even some of their required minimum distribution after 73 from their IRAs and TSAs and stuff like that. There's a lot of ways that people can help us, but money is real and it is needed.
Squeeze all the way in, get nice and tight. Make like a half circle around, okay? Come in so you can hear.
My name is Shannon O'Connor, and I co-chair with Travis here, and really from the bottom of our hearts, we're so grateful for you to show up today. And this is probably the most meaningful moment of the year for us, where we get to honor each one of your children's lives together collectively today, and sit in a room and just really celebrate their life together and their memory with you. So please remember that we are here, the Unforgettables. We are a part of your community, we are a part of your family now. So we are here to provide resources moving forward into the new year. And any additional support that you might need, please remember to contact us to help you through this time. We are so grateful to be a part of just this season in your life. So thank you so much for allowing us that opportunity. If I may, as Travis said, because of the rain, we are going to actually move to the church rather quickly. So things have changed. So if I may ask all the moms or a representative of your family to come and grab a rose for our rose ceremony, I would be grateful for you to do that, please, now. However, because of the rain, our doves cannot fly. So that is a very special moment in this ceremony that unfortunately we will not be able to have take place today. So if you will please join me in taking your roses over here to this wonderful red wagon actually that has been a part of our tradition here from the Pastrano family who are representing their two children also, Aiden and Ariana. So moms and caregivers, if you will please place your red rose in the red wagon to be carried to the church, please.
On New Year's Eve, every year, we celebrate the lives of those children that were lost. We lost 251 children last year. So our event up in the Loma Linda area, our event draws 200 to 300 people. We go to a church, we light candles, we say the first name of every child. One year we had a lady, a Hispanic lady. She would not let go of the dove. And so I speak Spanish. And so I went and told her that her son needs to hear the message. And she released the dove and it flew off. And I was choking up talking to this lady. It was kind of her contact with her boy. It's a very dramatic time and needed for those families. And next year they'll come back and celebrate their children's names again and forever. Their child will not be forgotten.
I started that the very first year because I think as a pastoral side, I'm thinking how human beings respond at the end of the year. Many times they reflect back. They think about what has happened, high points and low points. And so I know families are thinking about their child that they lost. And I thought, what can the community do? What can our charity do to help them to remember and to be comforted and be supported and be listened to and be collectively and figuratively hugged? And I said, well, why don't we do a little walk on New Year's Eve, right at the sunset of the last day of the year. So 3:30 every year for 25 years, we've gathered at various spots in Loma Linda to do a little walk, release doves, to allow parents to say the name of their child, to allow families to walk together. Sometimes they're wearing shirts with the child's face on it. They meet other families, they get hugged and supported and given well wishes and told that we still remember those children. And then they do a candle lighting ceremony that is led by my friend Stan Morrison, with music, with readings in the Campus Hill Church in Loma Linda. And it is beautiful. It's a beautiful event. It's the favorite event for many people. And families come back year in, year out. I know of one family that's come for 18 years after their child died. So it's very meaningful to the families. And it's on New Year's Eve every year in Loma Linda, California, and we call it Lights for Little Lives Memorial Walk. I decided to retire because I was tired of asking people for money and seeing them duck around the corner and run away from me and hide when they saw me walk in their direction. I think that it's good to have fresh blood and a new approach, a new style. And I want to let someone who's stronger and smarter and brighter than I am take over. And life does wear you down, whether you like to admit it or not. When I look in the mirror, I go, who's that old guy? And when I get up in the morning, not many, but I have a few aches and pains. So yeah, I just want to be able to make sure that this charity has the best. And so we've got that in our new executive director who's taken my place, Lori O'Connor.
Good morning and welcome again, everyone, to Morongo Golf Club at Tuckwick Canyon. If you're here for today's tournament with the BDA and the Unforgettables, if you can, let's please start making our way to our golf carts. Once we get everybody kind of close, we'll say our thank yous, go over the rules, and get you out to the golf course. So once again, if we can, please start making our way to our golf carts.
All this is for the Unforgettables, and we appreciate you guys for coming here. It's all about you donating to the Unforgettables. They're an amazing organization, and we support them 100% every year. This is Lori. She's the new CEO. Mr. Tim decided to retire because he wanted to go fishing. So Lori's taking the reins. Here's Lori.
Good morning. Thank you guys again for being here. We appreciate you. We appreciate BDA, Mike, everyone's, the team is wonderful, and we totally respect and appreciate this partnership. And we want you guys to have a great time out there. Like you said, be quick. Make sure, yeah, we don't want it all day long, but again, thank you. We'll talk a little more after this afternoon at lunch. Thank you again.
And Mr. in charge of the tournament.
All right, thanks, Mike. Yeah, let's go ahead and get seated in our golf carts. I'll go over the rules while everybody's kind of headed there. This is a 4-person scramble. That means everybody hits a tee shot. You take the best tee shot, hit a second shot, take the best second shot, so on and so forth till the hole's completed. There is going to be one rule in effect today. Par is the worst score you can take as a group. So if you miss your birdie putt, just go ahead and write down par on the scorecard and move on to the next hole. All men, you'll be playing from the white tees. All ladies, you'll be hitting from the forward red tees. There should be one scorecard per foursome. Please turn that into the pro shop on your way to the banquet. Where you guys registered this morning will be the same place we'll host the banquet and luncheon afterwards. Plenty of different things out there. We got closest to the pin for men and women. That's going to be on hole 15. And we got longest drive also for men and women. That's going to be on hole number 9. Other than that, let's have fun. Let's play fast. Let's keep up with the group in front of you. So that means if you get to a tee box and you don't see anybody, that means you're the slow group. You need to speed up and catch up to the group in front of you. Way this is going to work, we're going to start with holes 5 through 1. So if you're starting on one of those holes, you're going to be the first wave. 5 through 1. You're going to exit to your left. You're going to start with hole 5, and we'll work our way back to number 1. So hole 5, whenever you're ready, you'll follow Jose, and he'll get you out to the golf course. So please exit to your left, follow the group in front of you. Back 9, same concept, opposite way. If you're on holes 14 through 18, you're going to be the first wave on the back 9. You'll exit to your right, you'll follow Pete, he'll get you out to the golf course. We'll start with hole 14 and work our way back to number 18.
Thank you, BDA. Love ya. And I just want you to know that you've been such great friends to the Unforgettables and me. And thanks for taking care of Lori, who's going to do a phenomenal job as the CEO for Unforgettables now. And Mike and all the team, we love you guys. Thanks for doing this wonderful BDA tournament for years and years. You've helped many, many families. And as the founder, I'm forever grateful to BDA. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Lori O'Connor. I'm the president and CEO of the Unforgettables Foundation. I'm native to the Inland Empire. I have a blended family of 7 children and 1 grandson. My education is from University of Redlands. I have my MBA from there. I have my nonprofit management certificate, as well as being a certified fundraising executive. A friend of mine was volunteering at a golf tournament and they were shorthanded, so she asked if I would come along. So I did. And I fell in love with the mission, and so started volunteering myself. And then the organization needed somebody to help as an outside contractor to do events, so I started doing those for them. And then Tim Evans had mentioned that they needed somebody to come in and manage the office and the caseload, and so I applied and he gave me a job, so I was here for that long. And then after a couple years, Tim encouraged me to move on and to become a CEO or an executive director for another nonprofit to get that experience. I decided to become the new CEO of the foundation because I strongly believe in the mission and the impact that we make. and the opportunity to continue Tim Evans' legacy is an honor. That was another reason that I did that, and then chose to do this. And then lastly is that my background has all been in nonprofit management, and so I've been preparing myself my whole career to do this. My goals are to expand on our reach and our impact, to strengthen our partnerships with hospitals, corporations, and community organizations, to grow our sustainable funding, and to also expand on our programs. So my connection to the foundation, again, I believe in the mission strongly. And my firstborn was born 3 months prematurely. And so he spent 3 months in the NICU, and it was a complete roller coaster ride going in and out all the time. And I witnessed families actually lose their child. And it was awful to watch. And you feel blessed that your son was doing so well, but you also carry a little bit of guilt because people next to you were losing their child. So again, as a mother, a grandmother, I definitely feel a strong connection to the mission.